Hello. Here I am again. Practicing as much. Best way of describing it. Bored as well. The weather outside is and I've got a resentment against the weather. So who creates the weather so that I can take it out and then confront them? I was watching a few things on YouTube. D'Souza, that guy D'Souza, talking about stuff. It's quite interesting. Jordan Peterson. Quite interesting. Quite a lot of stuff. Good kind of Julia Hartley Brew. She's pretty cool. There's a few of them. But here I am back here. And the main theme has been Alcoholics Anonymous. And the simple fact that it doesn't work. And people, first thing people would think was, how do you know it doesn't work? How do you measure it? Well, if you go to an AA meeting and you hear them talking about what they have experienced as regards the program, which is encompassed in the first 103 pages of said book, and the doctor's opinion is a good at the beginning, and that's worth reading. Some of the pioneer stories at the back are worth reading. In 1953, they decided to modernise it to bring the stories up to modern times. It doesn't matter what age, what era you've got an alcoholic, behaviour's all the same. It's the same old story. So that was a mistake. One, because it gave his doctor alcoholic addict. No. If there's something wrong with me, if I'm upset about something, then there's something wrong with me. All right. And it's nothing to do with anybody else. So if you walk down the street and you punch me, it's my problem. Really idiotic statement. I can't quite remember it. But anyway, that's the bottom line with it. You have to find out what's wrong with you because somebody kicked you for no reason. What's wrong with me? I'm in pain. And how they managed to allow it on into the book is quite. Who was doing this? This is the 50s. Bill W.'s still there. Yeah, he's still there. And they're allowing this kind of stuff through. But anyway, if you are an alcoholic, then you have no need for those stories anyway. Just some of them are interesting reading. And so it's this, what we have, the foundation of this, was my story, is the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And if I follow the clear-cut precise instructions, then I will discover that these resentments are have quite a serious effect on me, in my life, and my thinking. Thinking, feeling, drinking. Thinking, feeling, drinking. All right. So we have to overcome this. And this shows how we do it. And it's very simple indeed. It's the best form of psychotherapy I can imagine. I've had some of that kind of stuff, counselling stuff and drama stuff. I've got something on my screen here that I don't want. How do I get rid of this? Go away. Scrap. It's refusing to go. What does this say? Bear with me. Put this pop-outs at toggle times. I don't know what this is. Oops, well, it's done something else now. Maybe it's an integral. I've never seen it before. Send feedback. All right, carry on. Whereas before I was so rudely interrupted. Yeah, so I mean, it's a serious, seriously revealing process. Step 4, looking at the people that you resent, and then discovering that maybe I brought a lot of that stuff on myself. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And without any detail, it's what I discovered was that people I resented, there was times when I actually hurt them, and that they reacted to me because of me. And where else is that going to happen? We're better for it to happen, and we're better to practice it is in AA meetings. Because a number of AA people are, here's this idiot again, I always remember that wee guy, wee Scottish bloke, he had a relapse before every Christmas so he wouldn't get a year's sobriety. And they allowed him to share, and I thought, I wanted to go and punch him. And then he was, yeah. Perfectly permissible. And if you're anything like me, and you're blown away with step 4 and all that stuff, the first thing is that I notice there's a list of people there in AA that I had a feeling of resentment towards, and that I'd have to go and make amends to them. This is what I thought. The fact that they didn't know didn't seem to bother me. It's kind of practice. And what easier way to practice than on your AA pals, Oh, listen, I was thinking, and I think you talk a lot of rubbish and all that, and I was wrong, and all right, yeah. Kind of the way not to do step 9. You actually go there and you end up offending them. So you have to be careful with that step 9 stuff. But there were times when I had to make genuine amends to these people. And they got, some of them were like, yeah, right, yeah, okay, right, keep coming back, because they didn't have a clue what I was talking about. They were kind of, and I actually can't remember one who gave me a positive. And that's troublesome because if the program's working, these people should be practicing the program. So they should know exactly what it is I'm doing. It should be, yeah, well done, John. Thank you very much. And let's have a look at that. Yeah, well, I was doing that, so maybe I should know. Thanks. No, I know. And everyone's a winner. It's never happened. I had a wee girl come to me a few months back. Might have been in one of my previous rants. And she apologised and made it look. It was an apology. She didn't make amends. She just apologised, and which is a wee bit kind of cop out stuff. This is why. This is what I'd done to understand why I was wrong and how I behaved. And but at least she had the guts to do it, and she didn't tell me anything that might have helped me. And the way I had dealt with it, surely dealt with her own stuff. In a sense, missing a point that it helps both people. And so yeah, it's fascinating. And what it proves is that most people should be making amends to people in AA. And then everybody starts to realise, hey, this is working, this is cool, wow. And I've actually changed the way I am because of the feedback I'm getting through step 10s or other people's step 10s that I'm involved in. This is fantastic. So that's why you would be able to measure that AA actually works. Plus, of course, if you can find a meeting where they actually focus on the recovery process as it is in the book. AA suggests topic discussion meetings, which are pretty good. They're pretty good. I've talked about them before, I believe, where you just give people a list of topics and take your pick. Give you 5 minutes on a topic. 5 minutes, not bad time. And most people don't need to reply because you generally, unless you, most people don't need to reply. And that's the beauty of it if you're putting it in a question form. You put a question to the group, and the group, all right. So you might get quite a few answers. And maybe the secretaries have to say, right, okay, fine, that's enough with that one, I think, let's move on. So it's really dynamic and wow. And it's all programmed. It's all programmed. That's an AA meeting. The one on Tuesday afternoon up in Luton that I helped to change round. And I believe they're still doing it. It's been a while since I've been there because of my back problem. I've got a date. I've got a date for my incarceration where they're going to put something in my back. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but they're going to put something in it to straighten it up and do whatever. I think in the centre, well, then it's down there. It's transforminal lumbar. Transforminal lumbar interbody fusion. It's just a wee metal thing. Like robots or something. And in a sense, I'm looking forward to it. It might not work, and that's the end. I'll be finished then. They might do more damage. But I'd ask you to pray for me, but there's no need for that. God already knows what's going on. You know, if the surgeon has a bad day. But, you know, this is, once again, getting back to this Step 10 stuff and this other stuff that talk about free speech, and you don't get that in AA anymore. You don't get the little nutter who's sharing that he drinks once a year so he doesn't get a year's sobriety. You don't. There's no freedom of speech anymore at all. All these politically correct people and all the snowflakes who don't, if you say something that they don't agree with, then you hurt their feelings. And the snowflakes are the nastiest, but the most spiteful, by the way. So it's fascinating. And in a sense, it's just like real life. It's just the mechanics of groups and these people. And if your group's strong enough, then these people don't exist. They can't exist. They have to go looking for groups where they can flourish, inverted commas. And once again, if you're talking about the programme and it will work, because it will work. Then it's wonderful and it's dynamic and it's inspirational, inspired, spiritual, like that breakdown. And the people who don't have it, who haven't done it, then they're left out because they don't know what you're talking about. So they go away. Or you offer them the programme. If you notice that, if you offer them the programme. Well, no, I don't really want it. Well, there's no point in you being here then. We've no message for this room. The only people who've got a message are people who have taken the steps. That's all. Anything else is just failure and doom and gloom and depression. And sadly, that kind of describes most AA meetings, where it's doom and gloom. Or you hear those other poor souls who are don't know what they've done, and they've got this kind of sponsor type person, and they're sounding lovely, and it's I can't take anything from what you're saying. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where is the basis for this. Everything I talk about is in the book Alcoholics Anonymous. And that simple programme. There is a solution. By God. Bunch of ex-drunks who'd have screwed up a two-car funeral, who would have argued where to put a full stop. Yeah, you know, don't you? And they created this remarkable book within a year. Within a year. And that, God only knows, I'd like to have been there at the time when they were putting it together and who was doing what and who was writing it. who was able to write it, who was qualified enough to write it. Well, Dr. Bob was a proctologist. Made an arse of everything. Oh, sorry, swearing. I do apologise, but you need it for the joke. Made it. Okay. He had long fingers. And Bill was he was a kind of businessman, wasn't he? He was worked in the finance areas, and he was a dealer, a chancellor, and all that stuff. And brilliant qualifications for an alcoholic. These people. So don't know about writing. Don't know anything about writing. But they've done it. Here, yeah, boom, there it's there. Remarkable. Try to tell me there's no God. Whoa. So, you think, that's pretty decent background there. That deserves a bit of respect. In that sense, maybe it needs a wee read. And in my case, I had to be guided through the reading of it. But you don't study it. There's still people. A young guy meet on a Friday night, which is where it kind of all started for me 20 odd years ago. He talks about studying the book. Well, there's one dictate, dictate, yeah, because they have, you've agreed to follow their path, so they're going to dictate to you what it is you have to do. And that's bottom line here. If you don't want it, see you later. But if you accept the invitation, then we're going to have to dictate to you what it is you need to do. Like a driving instructor. You want me to teach you how to drive, but you don't want me to dictate to you. No, well, I won't be able to teach you how to drive. All right. Okay. So it's essential. And of course, that's in the book. So you can't argue with it. You either accept it, you take it or you leave it. Simple as that. Take it or leave it. And these remarkable people put this book together. And the 12 steps, statements of fact, based on the experience of the people who wrote the book. Try telling me there's no God. That's worth repeating. It's just astonishing. And it took them less than a year. It was 11 months it took them. 38 to 39. Not sure. You can check it out yourself if you want to do a bit of research on this wonderful internet that we've got, which opens up so much for us. And, well, I'm really grateful for this. So, right, I've agreed. Right, so step one. Admitted we were powerless over alcohol. Their lives had become unmanageable. Yeah. When you want to stop, can you? No. When you start, can you control the amount you drink? Guarantee when you finish? No. Well, you might have to consider you've got a problem. Yeah, indeed. Doesn't seem too hard a decision, really, does it? Based on the evidence. I'm here for a start. Yeah. So if you're powerless, you need a power. Yeah. Well, the people who wrote this book discovered a power. Do you want to follow their path? Well, I've heard so many stories about this program in those rooms, and they do this and do that. It's just become a bloody nightmare. It just seems like it's not worth it. Yeah, well, you make a decision to follow their path. They then reasonably assume that they're going to give you clear-cut, precise instructions. Yeah. Well, it takes 2 days to take steps 4 to 9. Step 3, you make a decision. Step 4 to 9 is acting on that decision. Never heard that before. I don't know a meeting in this greater London area that I could say to somebody constantly, go there and you will get people talking about the message. And it'll be accurate, and you'll be able to refer it to the book. You'll be able to compare it and refer to the book for your reassurance. So you made the decision. So you launch out in a course of vigorous action. Launch means you're not coming back, you know, and it's vigorous. So that's step 49. I'm now looking at. All right, step 4, moral inventory. A moral inventory, not personal inventory. That comes later. A moral inventory, looking for the truth. I resent the cause, parts affected. I resent certain principles in life, certain principles, rules in life. I didn't know what a principle was. 40 years of age and I didn't know what a principle was. Whoa. Rules in life that you don't like. Things you've got to do to satisfy the government, pay your tax and all that stuff, you know. And you've got to. Well, there's always car things with me, you know. That you've got to pay for your MOT, you've got to keep your car MOT, and you've got to tax it. You've got to insure it. I remember when I was young and I got my first car, when I was an MOT tax and insurance, I was driving about in it. And really resenting the idea of paying for this insurance stuff and whatever. And very childlike and very, very childish. And why do these rules have to apply to me? Why me? And that's quite revealing in itself. Going back to that age when I think about it. And so that's the other thing that I resent, that principle in life. And institutions in life that I don't like. Don't like governments, don't like politicians, don't like local government people, don't like the dole people, the unemployment people, don't like the people and the doctors and all that stuff. Just don't like them. They don't do things to suit me. And why do I have to wait? Yeah. Not exactly unusual, those real feelings of resentment, but nonetheless, I have to identify them. Well, that's cool. What part of me was affected? I sit down to discuss it with him, and we start to. He breaks through it. He's experienced. He knows the score and my rationalisation and justification and all that stuff. I like that. I discovered that rationalisation. Oh, you're rationalising. You're to justify. Oh, right. Oh, I see. Oh, right. Okay. And then I discovered where I was doing that in these. And making excuses of people, blaming their behaviour for my behaviour. If he hadn't done this, I wouldn't have done that. She hadn't. You know the story. Just to cover up my own stuff. So I had to identify that. And from that comes a recognition of people who acted towards me, because they just weren't nice people. You know, like the guy who just knocks you over as you're walking down the street and stuff like that. And bigger stuff with some people. And they just acted towards me, not nice people. And the book suggests that I try and pray for them. Yeah, well, not just now, maybe later. Thank you. And they probably worded it that way as well. Very, very careful. And this is what they done. Not bringing anybody else into it. This is what they done. No more, no less. It's very important. Very important. So these are the people who acted with a few. And there are people that you're quite entitled to resent. And there's a big message in this, because a wee woman came to me for help. And we're at step 4 and her father sexually abused her. And she was quite upset when I was talking about it. And I'm thinking back now, I was a bit rough at the time. And she was getting a wee bit upset. And she said, so what's the problem? I said, well, my last sponsor, this wee woman had just come back from a relapse. My last sponsor told me that I had to make amends to my father. Well, the father who sexually abused you. And your sponsor said that because you resent him, you have to go and make amends to him. Your sponsor doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'd heard this kind of talk in the air from these so-called sponsors. They're bloody dangerous people. And they've been responsible for people's death this wee woman relapsed because it turned out she relapsed because of this guy, what he said. I said, well, that's total rubbish. You were a child, you were innocent, your father picked you, and your father's totally responsible for this, and you're quite entitled to resent him. You know? And this is the first time I'd come across this. So it must have been early on in my messaging career. No, I should be a bit more serious about it, because it's very serious. And I'm very proud of what I've achieved. Just so I don't put my usual kind of laughing it off sort of thing. It's no big deal. It is a big deal. And that wee woman broke down, you know, and she was with relief. And she had a big smile on her face, you know. I gave her a cup of tea. And she was just so relieved, because this nutter sponsor had told her she'd have to make amends to her abuser. That's a shocker. Absolute shocker. That was her sorted. And off she went. God knows where she went, but she walked away with this program. I know that. I know hundreds of people walked away from me with this program, and it was the option was theirs. It's all about the first 9 steps. All about the first 9 steps, and getting them firmly in place. So this wee woman, I would say, was a happy customer. You know what's interesting about these people? Not one of them has given me a prezi. I think maybe 1 or 2 sent me a card. This selfish beep. And, makes me laugh. The biggest gift to the planet that you can receive, and you get it for nothing. You could have bought me a cake or something. You know, I quite like a cake. It's probably not a good idea. Fat enough. Funny side to it. And this is wonderful, this stuff. And this step 4, step 5 stuff is wonderful. And something you have to be careful with, especially for that kind of thing. And these crazy sponsors. My sponsor says this, my sponsor says that. The sponsor's wrong. The number of people are upset because of sharing back. Sponsors this, sponsors that. They're wrong. And how do I pause this? I don't know how to pause this, because I've got something in the oven. That's why. Silly people. Does this stop it? No. Does this stop it? No. Right, well, I'll be back in a sec. Excuse me. Organised chaos. Tad overcooked. So I'm always reminded of where I've come from. And it's astonishing. It really is astonishing. So we're talking about the power of step 4 and step 5. And I was thinking to myself, as I do, and it's quite nice to be in my head, because it's all changed. There was a time when it wasn't nice. It led me to drinking. My thinking created the feeling, and the drink sorted out the feeling. Think, feel, drink. But what I was thinking was, with my background as a child and the abuse that I received, or neglect, and with a mother who didn't have a clue, she was really good at one thing, and that was having children, it seems. And she had 7 of those, which is a shocker. And what I concluded, I watched a psychologist last night with a guy. I thought it was going to be a full session, 15 minutes, quite disappointing, really. Ex-politician who then contracted cancer. That's a shame. What my thinking was, and everything about this process takes me back to a child when I was most formative, when I was most sensitive and most vulnerable to what was going on round about me, and it was not good what was going on round about me. But I didn't know how to process it. I was a child, and I'm wondering if I, and maybe lots of other people, certainly people I've taken through the programme, I wonder if I had a nervous breakdown as a child and just didn't know it, and only revealed it through this process, this programme, doing this stuff. Powerful, powerful stuff. I then came to terms and broke the hold that the nervous breakdown that I'd on me all those years. Some people live and die with it. It's a reasonable way of describing it. It's a reasonable way of describing it. It's fascinating. So I've got this step 4 and 5 done within a day. And anyway, I return home because the book tells me I have to return home after we've discussed it with a man, and then I take the book down and have a peruse over what I've done, and if I'm satisfied, if I've done enough, and I'm building an arch through which I shall walk a free man. Have I used enough sand and mortar and cement? And it's quite nice, actually, that description. Bottom of page 75, I think it is. Right, fine. I'm fine with what I've done, and it's been, wow. It's been. If you saw me driving home from the man's house, he offered to pick me up. I was driving down a kind of motorway at 35 mile an hour. I'd bought this big Jag just to treat myself for my recovery, my present to myself. And people are flashing lights at me and whatever else. I'm a hazard. 35 mile an hour, just because I'm so caught up in all this stuff. Ended up, I got a flat tyre and I had to pull off and get it sorted. That got my head back. But that was fascinating. People flashing lights. Get off the road. Yeah, I'm having a spiritual experience, mate. And it's probably what it was. Spiritual experience, just remarkable reflecting on it. And when I do reflect on it, in the odd occasions I do, I always come up with something different. Always come up with something different. Or another awakening to what was going on. So anyway, I'm fine. And phone the man and say, yeah, I'm okay with this. So we'll have a look at 6, 7, 8, and 9. For what? I'm a veteran of 18 months of AA meetings. I've done hundreds of the things. Hundreds. And look at, I'm supposed to practice. Just read them as they're written, John. And it says right at the top, page 76, I think. Let's have if you're satisfied, let's have a look at 6 and 7, I think. Oh, yeah, there it is. So I'm only looking at it, yeah. He later revealed to me that the first 9 steps are in the past tense. Once they're done, they're done. You never have to go back to them. Unless, of course, you relapse and resume, or you have the privilege of taking somebody through this program, which I have had hundreds of times. And that was fascinating as well, because quite recently I was talking to the man who took me through the program, and he was talking about how he had taken 60-odd people through the program. And I'm sitting there, because you have 10 through. And he had an inkling that I'd taken a lot of people through the program, because word gets round, And I thought, Jesus, you've done 60 odds, and I've done nearer 500 and 400. Whoa. And I probably shouldn't mention it because people can't imagine 400 or 500 pounds. But if you break it down over a 10-year period, 50 people a year, 4 people a month, it's not that many. 4 people a month, 5 people a month. It's not that many. And it was in that concentrated area. Yeah, so it is. And I did dedicate myself to it. I did dedicate myself, no doubt about it. And people heard what I was saying. And people were recommending me to people. And yeah, so it's fascinating. Don't know what my ex-wife thought about it. I got a tooth. I got a tooth. I got a false tooth made free on the National Health. Yeah, it's fine. I've lost it. Can't find it. There's a tooth wandering about somewhere. And I've lost the blasted thing. That's insane, so it is. You wouldn't like to be in my head, I'll tell you. I know what I'm talking about, but, And so, yeah. So step 6, and I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. No, I'm not too sure about that one. These resentments. And there's some that I'm not too sure about letting go of. That's okay. We've got the step 7 prayer to help you with that. You just say that on a daily basis. Not sure what it is. Lord, I offer myself to thee. Truth and build with me as I will. Maybe. And I've not got it to hand. Probably one of the most important books written in the history of man, and I've not got it to hand. But anyway, you've got your own book, so and I'm not doing it all for you. So there you go. But you find it's pretty accurate what I'm saying if you go and read the book. So it brings us to step 8. Made a list of people we had harmed. I've got a wee note come up here about somebody liked something that I said. I like it. Somebody liked what I said. Could change your life, pal. Yeah. The reluctant Messiah. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. So yeah, made a list of people. I'd done it when I took inventory. Oh, right. Yeah. And yeah, the inventory thing, that I resent the cause effects. And then have a talk about it, a discussion about it, and it's my mistake, whom did I harm? Part at fault. Oh. That's when you start working out who you resent, who acted towards you, and who reacted towards you. Very important. Very important. Once again, it's all in the book. When I talk about sexual conduct, which I never went looking for it because I was too busy drinking and having a nervous breakdown and stuff like that, And there was the odd occasion when it came along and I took advantage of it wrongly. And I've made amends for it. I still talk every now and again to my first wife. She's a head case. Total nutter. she still thinks of me the same way, but I'm not. I'm different, and that's quite interesting. And I think I irritate her, but she keeps coming back, especially when she's been drinking with her sister. For God's sake. I always thought I should have married her sister. But no. And of course, their background is just, in many respects, is screwed up. Mine was screwed up, but also with poverty, whereas hers was kind of behind lace curtains and stuff like that, And none of the pain of poverty and the indignities and the shame of it. But her mother was probably alcoholic and her dad was a gambler, which I found out. I didn't know. Kind of kept it secret. And yeah, trip down memory lane. Don't talk to my second wife. She's done a lot of damage to my children. And No, that's what I won't forgive her that. I won't forgive her that. That's so wrong. So wrong. In fact, with her, it's worse because she knows. Because of my recovery, she knows. And so I think it may be fair to say it's downright evil because she knows, and she knows I know. All of your ways are known to me. It's a lovely little saying. It's kind of lovely. It's kind of spooky. All of your ways are known to me. Oh my God! But it's true. So I discover stuff about myself, and then start to see it in other people, especially people close to me. And whatnot. You start to see how your own family ended up where they ended up, and friends or whatever. Wow. It's massive. It really is massive. It's not just a person. It goes out, reaches, it touches everything, and kind of interesting. But so I've got this step 8, and I've got the list of people, and I sit with a man and discuss ways of making amends to people, without doing any more damage. We touched on that earlier. Apologising to people and they don't know. I had an affair with your wife and I'd like to apologise for it. What? He didn't know. So you have to show a bit of wisdom. And that's okay. And it was a good experience in many respects. Some people were seriously impressed by it. Seriously impressed by it. And there's quite a few pages on step 9. So they take it seriously. They take it seriously. And so that brings us to the promises, the bottom of page 83, 82. And what I love about the promises is just that one promise: we will intuitively know how to handle things that used to baffle us. Wow. I used to go to a meeting who read the promises, and I went to that meeting just to hear that. Maybe not just to hear that, but I know at the end of it, right, who's got the promises? Who's reading the promises? And I would wait, and I'd just wait for them to say, we will intuitively know how to handle things that used to baffle us. Wow. Didn't know what intuitive meant, but wow. Then I discovered what intuitive meant. Wow. So I will just do this program will just become part of me. It would be like riding the bike. I'll just do things automatically without thinking about it. But they're all good. Wow. Somebody's taught me how to drive life again. Life is a car, and I'm driving it now. I'm doing it well and doing it properly. It's truly remarkable. And that's what happens. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Step 12. But yeah, the promises. Wonderful. So step 10. Continue to take inventory, and when we're wrong, promptly admit it. A business that doesn't take inventory goes bust. All right. Because this is me now. I've arrived. First 9 steps are done. Never have to go back to them. Except if I relapse and resume and help somebody else. But that's it, done. They're all in the past tense. 10 and 11 covers everything on a daily basis until it becomes intuitive. Oh, wow, right, okay. Personal inventory. It's not a moral inventory. We know the truth now. We're just getting personal inventory just to keep a check on ourselves. The man suggested to me, I suggest you do your personal inventory the same way you done your moral inventory. And keep a track of it. And if you've got a day free of resentment, leave the page empty so that you know when you're looking through, well, there's an empty page. All right, so just not cramming it all together, which was good advice. Wow. You do that before you go to bed. You go with your head clear. So you have a good night's sleep. How simple could it be? The alcoholic goes to bed with his head crammed full of resentment and nasty, horrible stuff. Hardly surprising he doesn't sleep particularly well. Jeez. I'm having these thoughts back. Wallowing in the beauty of this stuff. It's just astonishing. Step 11 is your own stuff. sought through prayer and meditation. Prayer, fine. Meditation, I used to think it'd be all that weird stuff, well, I considered weird at the time. Meditation, to meditate, to think deeply. Best people in the world that meditate are alcoholics. Only problem is it's all negative. So we have to turn around. So it's on the positive. Meditating on the positive. I think I'll meditate on my gratitude list that I've done. Yeah, that'd be good meditation. All right, well, meditate. Right. Simple as that. They're all simple. Which results in having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps. We practice these principles, rules, life rules, and try and help the suffering alcoholic. Wow. 2 days ago I was confused and bewildered and bewitched, bothered and bewildered. And now here I am with a whole new outlook. And guess what? If I can do it, you can do it. But the saddest thing is, don't go to an AA meeting. Do not go to an AA meeting. Because they will frustrate you and upset you and depress you, and you'll end up drinking again. And I don't know any meeting. Yeah, the Tuesday meeting in Luton is the only meeting out of all the meetings I've visited over the years. It's the only meeting that actually does that. Follow the guidelines of AA topic discussion meeting. Sobriety, freedom from alcohol through the practice and teachings of the 12-step recovery program is the sole purpose of an AA meeting. Sorry, I didn't mean to point, but that's it. No, nothing else. It's a sole purpose. And that's what they discovered, because they noticed things were going wrong. They were all off doing their own thing. Typical alcoholics. Making up their own meetings. Go to a little feelings meeting. That's what to do. Yeah. If you want to depress yourself, go to a feelings meeting. You'll get one on Wednesday in Stevenage. Just kind of north-ish London way, Hartford. And they talk about the feelings. Which in a sense it is good, in a sense. Because it's all about feelings. But where do the feelings come from? They come from your thinking. So it's a thinking meeting. Yeah, you can't miss that out. But they like the feelings because they can talk about the feelings and snowflakey. Oh, and I don't like you because you're critical and, blah, 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 blah. We defend the individual's right. What is it they say? We strenuously defend. Is it strenuously? We rigorously defend the individual's right to have and to state their opinion. Oh, well, that's right. We jealously guard the individual's right to have and to state their opinion. Have to go up on Wednesday afternoon and have a word with them. There is a story behind that, but maybe that's for a later date. But they're just not doing it. Let's talk about what creates these feelings that you've based your meeting on. We must. And it's my thinking. And what's it saying that about? The problem with the alcoholic starts in the alcoholic's mind. You have to think before you drink. All right. Fine. No argument against it. I am not arguing. I've been doing this for 26 years. And life at the moment is... I've got a bad back. I'm going from operation the 29th, which is 2 weeks away. Thursday. I'm putting this metal cage thing in. I walk by magnets and And I'm looking forward to it. There's no fear involved. It could work out wrong, but I'm actually looking forward to it, which is interesting. Maybe it's because of the treatment and the attention that I get. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, and I've got money in the bank. When not long ago I was skint, living in a caravan, which was really quite neat in many respects, and nice memories. Nice memories. And a lot of freedom as well, Just hitch it up and off you go and go somewhere else. It's fine. You don't like somebody, you fall out with somebody or whatever. Just see you later. I'm off. And hitch it up. So a lot of freedom in it. And, I've got a camper van, an old Volkswagen thing, which is very effective and does the job very well. Just too slow and noisy. Yeah. I've got a taxi, which I'm having to replace at the end of the month. And I've got the other car sitting outside ready to take over. This is remarkable. Paid it cash. Cash. Can you imagine? £3,040. Wow. And life is life is good. Well, it depends on which point you're looking at and where you're coming from. But I know that I'll go to bed tonight, and I will have quite a list of gratitude list, things that I could be grateful for. And isn't that remarkable? From lying in the gutter looking down my nose at people. I loved that one when somebody said that. Says, yeah, that's me. That's me. Just describe me lying in the gutter looking down my nose at people. And you'll notice that throughout this diatribe, 50 odd minutes, I've not spoken about my drinking. Don't think so. No. It's just a symptom. A symptom of a much greater malady. Spiritual malady. Lack of inspiration in my life. I can't imagine me drinking again. I've not had a drink since my first meeting, which I suppose is a blessing, but I don't identify with people who have had. It's never done any harm. I mean, come on, let's be fair. I was a useless drunk, and now I sit here 25 years later, and I've taken hundreds of people through this program, which is quite remarkable. I would like to meet somebody who's achieved the same out with the so-called treatment centres. In fact, I wouldn't count treatment centres. But anybody, oh yeah.
You said how important it is for you as a speaker to get the feedback of your audience. Now, having grown up in...
Well, that's interesting. Are we still registered? Everything's been dead. They're lucky. Maybe the weather. So I'm not sure if I'm still recording. Yeah, I am. Yeah, so. Timely interruption, perhaps. Somebody try to tell me something. Yeah, and there's only two people like me that I've met in those 26 years, and that's me and the man who took me through the program. And that is truly shocking. Truly shocking. There is a man described in page 18 of the book, the ex-problem drinker, who has found this solution. Found the solution. What's that? Spiritual experience, spiritual awakening. All right. And So the ex-Robin drinker was found as who's in possession of the facts about himself. How to do that? Steps 4 and 5. You'll discover the facts about yourself. It's really so neat. And these people put this book together as though they were professionals and looking at this is in this chapter, but we're going to go back, we're going to go to it again in this chapter. And link ups and whatever else that they do, putting a book together. Seems to just done it. Astonishing. Never ceases to blow me away when I think about their achievement. And yet here we are, I'm sitting here telling you accurately how to take you, in many respects, yourself through this program. You need somebody for your step 5 stuff. And AA doesn't do it. If somebody actually listens to this, and they've been to AA, they'll be sitting there nodding their head saying, yeah. Nobody does it. And the people who do try and do it, they get a hard time at it, and they get chased, they get isolated, marginalised. Shoot the messenger. Wow. And that's why I'm here. I can sit here and I can carry this message, and I don't have to worry about anybody interrupting me or whatever, anything else, you know. And I think, and I'm going to end on this. There's a wee guy called Laurie. Don't know his second name, but he's called Laurie, and it seems he's 30 odd years sober, and he's an ex-journalist, a man of words, we say. And he's a grumpy, miserable old bugger. The kind of guy that Joe and Charlie described, who needs a drink. 35 years sober, but you need a drink, pal. And I was talking in a meeting about how it's a book of instructions, but no, it's not. It's a book of suggestions. Do you mind not interrupting? 35 years sober, and there he is interrupting somebody. You know? How rude can you get? And I think that's about the rudest thing you can do, is interrupt somebody whilst they're sharing. And there you go. The secretary go on top of him. Yeah, right, okay. And if it's a book of suggestions, Laurie, that begs a question. You who's so educated. Me who left school at 14 without a qualification or nothing. What is it they're suggesting, Laurie? They're suggesting that you follow their instructions. In fact, they're inviting you to follow their instructions. This is back step 3 time. Read the book, you'll see it. They're giving you an invitation. We've gotten you willing to go to any lengths. Then you're ready to take certain steps. And by accepting that invitation, then you have to follow our instructions. We have to instruct you. So this is a book of instructions. It's a book of instructions, Laurie. Somebody's got to tell you. But you get people that, you know, somebody said, AA reckons that less than 50% of people in AA are actually alcoholics. Especially in America, with all these therapy people and all that. You know, oh, I go to AA, it's like that Fight Club thing where he goes to all different meetings, you know, and he meets that girl, and she's going to fucking different meetings as well, and said something about, I can't remember, but how can you be at that meeting, you know, because there was a huge contradiction. But, you know, this is the kind of thing that's happening. And you will never hear anybody in AA talk the stuff I'm talking. I can virtually guarantee that. And if you do find a meeting where you can hear what I'm saying, send me a message and let me know, because I'll go. So, if you get something from this, if you actually can listen to it, if you can discover it, then fine. And if you don't, just ignore me. Or send me a wee message. Maybe we can work something out. We can work it out. No, that was the Beatles. We can work it out. Done a lot of good stuff. Done a lot of good stuff. Pink Floyd, done a lot of good stuff. Roger Waters, all that good stuff. Paul Simon, a lot of good stuff. So many. Mark Bolan springs to mind from the 60s, 70s. A lot of good stuff. The Eagles. Wow. A lot of good stuff. So much good stuff. Good thinking. Positive, good thinking. Thinking about good music. And, yeah. Right, so that's it. Tata. I don't know how to end this. I could have moved myself up. Ooh, look at that. That's my little clock in the background. I don't know what that book is. Oh, it's that Gordon Ramsay cooking book. Yeah, I do like a bit of cooking. Right, well, I can't find out what to do with this. This is stupid. How do I switch it off? Is it up here? No. It's just side bit that's coming that's cramped my style. And I don't like that Gordon Ramsay, man. Completely not a prick. But he done a good bit on Thai cooking. I don't know how to get into this. This is kind of strange. Participants. Live chat. Don't know. Maybe it's asking me to say something. Well, I am saying something, but I just don't want to be here. Pop out chat. What's that? Yeah, well, here's another one bounced up. Nothing. Well, this is silly. I should be able to switch it off. But I don't see the off switch. What is going on? No, not like this at all. Not like this at all. I think I'm going to have to. That doesn't help. So, you're stuck with me. Well, I'll have to go here. Bye. Yeah. Is that happening? Leave page.